Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to strike fear into your hearts. I love you. It's true. But we are in day 15 of day 60 of peak hurricane season 2019. And as your planetary defense commander, I feel responsible for all the fatalities and deaths that have happened in the 8 hurricanes we've been hit by since 2017, because almost all of them could have been avoided. And so we pray for the best and prepare for the worst. And before I went out to cleanse my spiritual palate with some rock and roll, Humberto was supposed to go out to sea, because it was like a day ago, 48 hours ago, all the models at the same time, in an unprecedented fashion, all locked on to the idea of Humberto just going out to sea. I was like, that's weird. They're all locked in for like 10 days. Although the Euro on and off would show some weird hitches. And so, as Michael Ventris is pointing out, there is an interesting cluster of Euro members emerging around 919 that, instead of taking Humberto on an out-to-sea track, predict a loop towards the U.S. and out-to-sea track. Loop towards the U.S. That sounds bad. It is bad, but it's just a possibility at this moment. The out-to-sea track is the most likely outcome here, but we'll have to keep an eye on the second scenario. What they do is they run like a zillion models, and then so you can try to pick and choose the one that you think fits properly in this game of atmospheric Jenga. Hey, that's probably not the best analogy. And so we are watching the trends and patterns like a hawk, plus Mother Nature herself. And this was a weird wind field that NAM drew up about 16 hours ago. Usually they're more, I would say, hydrostatic in their equilibrium, but that would be kind of silly. Whatever. Okay. So, all right. Big wind field, strange shaped. Point of note, and major weather stories are happening all over. Meredith Garofalo. Flooding also happening in Wisconsin from overflowing lakes. Like here at Lake Delvan, high water levels are leading to boats and even pier planks floating away. Thanks, McGrover Weather. Hey, for the report, a fellow Valpo Weather and Valpo UTB alum. Okay, great. And I love Wisconsin. My grandparents were born there, and cheese curds are fantastic. But we have major issues, and the Midwest has had major issues since 6 months ago. A record storm, a land hurricane, hit Nebraska and the Midwest, causing over 300 rivers flooding, and parts have yet to recover. So we got a bit of a flooding situation happening with the 86 rivers flooding, 16 in major flood stage, and it is near the Great Lakes, which are extremely high. I had 3 beers and a shot. It was like rock and roll enjoyment steroids. Anywho, the Euro continues to show what would be a weird glitch hitch. Call it what you want to. Okay. So yeah, like Michael Ventris was talking about, the Euro is showing a northward glitch hitch. Look at that. That is crazy. And two of the people from Astro Fight Club that allowed me to go have a rock and roll night were George and the Secret Squirrel Northeast Corridor. Because my buddy Fitzroy was like, I'm sick. I was like, well, if there's a letter in the mailbox, then I'm going to go to my show. I will take an Uber for the first time. And there were 2. So thank you for one of the best rock and roll nights I've had in a decade. Well, I've had a couple good ones. But it was amazing. Thank y'all. Thank you, Astro Fuck Up. But here we are. And so, yeah, there's a weird hitch. And can I just say, this is one of the weirdest hurricane seasons I've ever covered. Plus, things have been pretty kind of shaky and unstable all around weather-wise. And there was a, what was it, stratospheric warming event? Crap, I just forgot it. I don't know. And for some reason, it's like technology and understanding stuff, including weather, can be stuck in the mud, where we don't really have a progression happening. I guess what I'm roundabout trying to say is the models can be pretty sketchy, even, I don't know, 12 to 20, 30, 40 hours out. So nobody knows what Humberto is going to do. And what is that? We still got like 6 weeks left in peak hurricane season. And I want to remind you, I think Hurricane Sandy hit as late as was October 29th. That's pretty late for hurricane season, bro. It ends like November 1st. Plus, smoke them if you got them. And I have been telling y'all since April that we are going to be on the lookout for a major monster storm. I tried to peg it exactly to impress the ladies from the 18th of September to the 23rd, though the timing could be off by a week, 2 weeks even. And so this would qualify as the major monster kind of storm size we're looking for here. You know, I suspect we could see like some monster freak show sci-fi storm, and that's what we're watching out for. And this right here, although it's millibar level, is only like a category 2 hurricane. Would you look at the size of this thing? Okay, and at the moment, this thing would be threatening the Canada, Maine, and the 2 letters were from Maine and North Carolina. I will be doing my very best in this brothering, because we are a brother's keeper, to keep you guys informed. But yeah, so, and the actual pressure I was looking for, I expected it to roll off of Africa. So it could be late. And not, this is, I don't know if that's Humberto. This might just be another storm. But what I'm saying is, yeah, it's like a week after. That we got hurricanes still rolling off. And I suspect when we get into October, the middle of October is going to be wild, windy, wacky, and wet as well. And for about 48 hours, models have mostly stuck with Humberto out to sea, which is, you know, the best case scenario for all involved, because Dorian absolutely flattened the Abaco Islands. They need our help desperately. And sometimes people who don't understand my style, they call me a fearmonger, or I hype shit up. And I'm like, hey, bro, in less than 3 years, we've been hit by Hurricane Harvey, Irma, Maria, Nate, Florence, Michael, Barry, Dorian. So until this pattern slows down, there's no reason to think that the very hurricane-y, all gas chance on the same side solar system out of balance period is over, especially when you're on peak hurricane part of it. You know what I'm saying? So me and Cranky Weather Guy, the king of weather Twitter, and the whole weather Twitter team have been trying to do what we can to bring you our best, bring you all the best information. And I've been trying to figure it out like it was some Sherlock Holmes puzzle. And so I was trying to put a connection together where we had Harvey and Dorian. And the thing that because I think the pressure in our atmosphere might be from planets in our solar system, possibly even comets, things like that, that those little flat dish hydrostatic equilibrium objects may be represented by the pressure of Neptune and like Eris and other things. Anywho, so the sit and spin feature of Dorian reminded me a lot of Harvey, because I live in Houston, and that thing just sat over us like a land hurricane for 3 or 4 days, flooding, 50 inches of rain. And Dorian did pretty much kind of the same thing. And they happened around the same time. Dorian made landfall around the 2nd. And so the Humberto, Irma, although they're different, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised to see possible landfalling hurricane dangers around the same time periods. We are recognizing and witnessing some patterns, although I wouldn't count on them 100%. Everybody needs to be prepared, especially Texas and the Gulf. I like this one because it shows where all the heavy rain is. And you can see the spinning happening. So Humberto is trying to get his act together, and we're watching this location of heavy rain. I don't think it's going to develop into anything major. Like, I don't even think it's going to get to hurricane status. That could always change. It takes like 24 hours for something to rapidly intensify. But it is not spinning until I see it start to spin. We just have to worry about some heavy rain. Not too heavy, I don't think, though. But the volcano range down here has been going off in Mexico and Guatemala like crazy. And I hope we could give to them. Would be great as well. We're all going to need help in this next period where all the gas giants on the same side. Okay, so but as you can see, and the models have some of it have it coming really close to Florida, although it's not expected to really develop and intensify for a few days when it gets up by North Carolina and South Carolina. Like I said, a worst case scenario has some of the models have shown it kind of spinning and coming back towards Florida or up towards the northeast. Humberto is a weirdo, and I don't like to make fun of people, but it's just true, man. But I'm a weirdo too. But the biggest issues right now are over in the West Pacific. Like, look at that is Humberto's moisture field, precipitable water field, and this is, look at this, man. That is like, I think this could be the biggest. That is an incredible, very dangerous amount of water. Precipitate. I mean, that is, I've never seen a moisture field like that. Never. That's the biggest one I think I've ever seen. It kind of looks like a dinosaur. And so, Japan, they're having a very rough season as well. And this is not a good indicator about anything. That is a whole lot. That is a whole lot of rain. And they're dealing with cyclones as well. So I went back to Irma, and Harvey just happened. And I remember Crank and I, when we were superheroing, I freaked out again when Irma was supposed to just stop and turn because it had been going west. And so it was like a replay 2 years later where I freaked out over Dorian because I thought it was going to head straight west and go into South Florida. Now, so in my filmic screenwriter mind, if it hadn't stopped, Dorian would have gone over South Florida, and what we saw at the Abaco Island, that could have been South Florida. So we've been lucky. It's a game of inches and angles, and they weren't lucky. But so things can change on a dime, and so at some point, if we don't get hit by anything, that is good. But I've been saying all year long, I have reason to believe that the upper northeast will get hit by some type of hurricane action, and then this area will get hit probably in the middle of October. Prayer works, songs, and Jedi tricks work too sometimes, and we'll take anything we can get, but prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But things could get weird if we don't get lucky. So I would ask everybody along the coasts, especially the Northeast coast and Florida, just be ready for things to get weirder and more dangerous. Now we're just going to be looking at the model runs to look for more patterns and things that we see that we may see in the future, if I can get it to work. And so I think the GFS has Humberto going pretty much a west curve, and it seems to be the tail of that Quetzalcoatl storm. Although some models have shown Humberto smacking London and Europe as anywhere as low as a category 2 or 3 hurricane. Although the models have lightened up. But I think it's the GFS legacy that shows that if this high doesn't collapse, you have another major hurricane feature around the northeast. And that would be the 25th. And so we're seeing a lot of high water booty hurricanes, whether they be out to sea or not. Here you got a triple signature feature on the gem. It's always interesting, eh? See, so what happened is, since the 3rd, models were drawing up landfalls everywhere, especially in the northeast, again and again and again and again and again. And then I kind of freaked out again. There's a lot of pressure. And then for like the last 48 hours, we've been seeing no landfalls at all. And I guess that streak has been broken with the gem because it shows Humberto turning back around and booping the nose of North Carolina and then moving up around the area in a really weird fashion. Then you get some like Fujiwara action with multiple hurricanes showing at the bottom. It's just an option, one run. But 48 hours later, 48 hours later, models are windshield wipering back to it could be a threat to the East Coast. And then we get a bunch of little baby hurricanes rolling off Africa. But notice how the whole alien head from like Aliens, it's the tail at the end. See that? Whoa. Yeah, there's some wild action. So, the period from the 18th to the 25th of October is when our big guess has been that things will start to get pretty action filmy. Well, okay, so I guess the runs are starting to come in now. More dangerous with a Humberto doing some type of a churn, and hit the East Coast. This is the NAVGem 00Z. And so you get, this would be the 20th. And that would be, boom, 21st. I've been predicting since April some type of a hurricane landfall on the northeast coast from the 18th to the 23rd. And then you get, this would take us up to the 22nd. And you get a second one coming off with what looks like a high pressure system. So, yeah, this is the period. We're 3 days away from the super peak hurricane season part. So I'm just asking everybody to stay aware. And if at any point in time there's a hurricane head for you, your family, your pets, or your poorer friends, and it's category 3 or higher, I'd recommend if you're on the major coast or within its landfall path, please get out of the way. And, depending on the storm surge, rainfall totals, and straight line winds, because if, as I've guessed, we could see some category 5 hurricanes, we could see anywhere up to 170 to 200 mile per hour winds. If it drops to like a 899 millibar or like 905, which is possible because Michael hit 914. And in all the gas giants on the same side theory, the pressure will be most intense this year, and then next year, and then the year after that, and then hopefully it should settle back down as Jupiter comes around to give us balance. I remember I was in North Texas back in '94 when I saw a sponge video plowed on MTV late night, and then I just loved them. It was like they wrote part of the soundtrack of my life before the Strokes came in, and so I got to see one of my favorite bands of all time. They have a song called Cowboy Eyes, which I think about me, but whatever. They played that. It was great. It was fantastic. So I just want to say again, stuff can be really stressful, but I got to stand in front of a stack of amps and some of my favorite songs pumped out, great frequencies. And I felt like that it has healing. Yeah, look at that thing. Healing abilities for mental, spiritual, physical. And so I thank y'all again so much. Because like before that happened, I was pretty down because I just hope we're ready. And I don't want to lose any more lives. Any people. I know the Premier or Prime Minister of India had a zero casualty policy with natural disasters, and I would love for America and the Americas to adopt the same thing. Like, we should definitely all try to work together during any type of a natural disaster to make sure everybody's taken care of. We don't lose anybody. And then we all help rebuild together. Because the hurricanes and the earthquakes and the volcanoes are going to be pretty wild over the next 6 years, but not too wild. We can handle it. It's not going to be like some super mega volcano popping off, man. Isaac Newton said the world wouldn't end before like 2065, I think. So, he's a smart dude. So we should to make plans for the future. Like Brexit and Yellowhammer and stuff. We got to come up with new ways to adapt as the solar system changes and our planet changes. Wow, but yeah, there's crazy stuff, and nobody knows what Humberto is going to do, but the period I've been warning us about all year, the 18th, through October, starts in 3 days. Hey, it's 3:33 a.m. And you guys are amazing. As today, tonight I was like, is this a simulation? There are beautiful women there. I thought about women the whole time. I'm single and unmarried, no kids. So if we can, make the world a better place, maybe I can have more time to have fun. Okay, that's neither here nor there, but you guys are cool. I love Astrophi Club. Yay! And thank you for putting up with me in all my moods. It has been a rough ride, though. But there have definitely been some wonderful moments in between. Okay, I don't want to be too loquacious about stuff. I'll be back. I'm on the night shift. Yay, I love you guys. Okay, God bless everyone. May the force be with us always. Let's live long and prosper together. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I bought a t-shirt too. Okay, y'all are awesome. Okay.